Hi guys, this is just equipping the science video for my followers to really to answer these helio fools. Jason and Rhonda, I was looking into in this chat here. They were talking about me, the daily Discord, helio fools, helio nutters, and this is really all you really need to do is just go back to my previous videos for the answers. 90% of what they question here is already answered, so I'll just play part of it and show you where to look.
There's no wiggle room for you fucking.
And on the screen there's this thing that says Heaven's Quadruple Magnetic Pillars explain tides perfectly.
Yes,
no, they don't.
Yes.
Because the
wait, stop. Yes, they do. How would you explain it otherwise? Tell me. With the opposite side of the Earth being affected by the moon, how would you explain that? You would have to conclude what the moon, because it's what 1/4 the size of the Earth. It attracts the Earth, but leaves the water behind. Do you realize how asinine that sounds?
water is not ferric, you morons.
Oh, you call me a more. Oh, water is diamagnetic, and it will be affected by the magnetism coming from the quadrupole in the center.
I would laugh if it wasn't so sad that he is this angry over this.
Yeah.
Well, it's just a matter of being challenged by errors of stupidity, in which you are. It's like shadowboxing these fools. I let you build this whole fucking idea or science, quote scientific idea behind a bullshit heliocentric system because you're fools. I needed a shadow boxer to fight with, and obviously you lost.
I laughed in the face.
Dumbasses do not. You can't run away from this. You cannot defend your stupid ass position. Okay. You have an octahedron in the center of the Earth. You cannot see it.
You hear that?
I hit it
You
from
hear
you
that,
fucking morons.
You're
Yes, I
stupid
am
ass.
God, and I'm down here.
There's something we can't see in the middle of the earth.
He just said
He
it.
just called himself God?
Yeah, I am
Yeah.
God.
Here.
I'm God?
Fucking
Okay. I want to bring up what you can observe. You can, obviously, you guys, you know this. You can see the actual octahedron with the Seymour radar imagery that they show. There's also radar imagery from Argentina and New Zealand, too. And you see how the sun actually rotates from the top, from the northern apex. And I overlaid that Seymour animation. You'll see the northern side is illuminated like that. And so, yeah, that's what's happening. So continue.
cleaning up the shit that you've been pouring out of your fucking mouths for years and years and years.
The light is literally coming out of the top
I would
and
like
bottom.
to say it.
The light's
I'm gonna
coming
say
out
it.
of the top and bottom, bending around like a fucking French horn and illuminating half the earth. And
But I mean, like, I just go back. Who can make straight that which I made bend? You're inside. Face it, guys. You're just too butthurt about it. I mean, I've been insulting you because I have the right to insult, because I'm standing on the correct form of the Earth, the correct model. You have nothing.
the other half is the moon. That's how.
Oh, you mean like an actual trumpet? I thought you meant like a straight horn.
No, I meant like a fucking trumpet or French horn, looking like
What
a
the
goddamn
fuck?
tuba.
Well, you can
So
complain
that's
the way
what
it looks,
is,
but
okay?
you're in
You
it.
cannot refute that. You cannot say, oh, well, yeah, the opposite side of the Earth is being affected by the moon. You're so fucking full of shit.
Okay.
Where are they coming from?
Let's-
You old
Mega.
Oh, I talk about
Let's talk
mega.
about mega
Okay.
cry
Talk about,
meteor.
they have no answer for mega cry meteors because they refuse to believe that there's a glass ceiling to the sky.
where are they happening?
With ice
Where are they
attached.
coming from? You old
And you're making it to
Fast
your
forward.
own.
Pieces of the fucking glass sphere that's in the middle that's preventing us from going into the rest of the universe.
Well, I
Look at
mean,
the sky
yeah,
with-
we got red shifting, we got chromatic aberration, we got, quote, gravitational lensing, which is compared to holding a cut glass goblet over the sky. Why not actually understand and believe that there is a glass ceiling to the sky? You cannot explain why the solar temperature, even though it's extraordinarily highly estimated, which is behind glass. There's the chromosphere versus the photosphere of the sun. Why is that temperature increase away from the sun? You cannot explain that. You never will, because you don't believe that there's glass in front of the sun, and that glass is getting expanded out due to thermal expansion, which causes refraction. That's why we get the stellar displacement of the stars. It's very simple, Einstein. Very simple.
What I'm wondering is, if it's falling apart, is it also rebuilding itself slowly?
Yeah, that's my question: is why is it still so perfectly invisible? Like,
Gee, when we're looking at the stars through a telescope, why don't we see the glass? Well, hello, why don't you see the glass in your telescope?
I would like to
Fucking
invite this
fat
guy to
fart.
just have an insult conversation.
Where are they
with me.
coming from? You don't know, because we don't want to believe there's a fucking glass ceiling to the sky with ice attached to it. We don't want to believe that, do we?
Right, there isn't.
How about predictability? How about orbital resonance
Yes.
of planets? How about that shit?
Watch my orbital resonance video. I talk about the actual pendulum wells that these natural satellites of like Jupiter and Saturn actually fall into, and that's why we have predictability. That's the main reason why we have that. Very simple to understand that. Also, I wanted to bring up too, I talked about before, the so-called, what do you call it? I forgot the name of it. What's the name of it? Chandler wobble. There we go. The wobble. They think the Earth is slightly wobbling, and they will measure. Oh, it's about 30 meters per year. It's wobbling. I mean, you take this huge 8,000 mile wide ball with all these different land formations that have different regions of weight distribution and everything, and it's spinning like that. And naturally, it's only wobbling about 30 meters per. What's more believable, that or a much smaller sphere held up by superconductivity where there's no, what do you call it? I can never remember that word. There's no resistance. That's the word. I guess that's kind of indicative of you guys. There's no resistance here. You guys are morons who believe in otherwise. But there's no resistance at this up in the center of the Earth, superconductive, super frigid area, and so it's being levitated up there perfectly like that. And so, what's more believable, that which is moving around in a sidereal day, but there's small little objects, the sun and the moon, that are causing that a very slight disturbance, fluctuation, and so they call it lunar solar precession. And yeah, that might cause that celestial sphere to only slightly wobble 30 meters per year. Much more believable. And then we can talk about, I don't mean to stop you guys here, we can talk about thermal expansion. You think that the equator is slightly wider because this Earth is spinning like that? No, it's because of that tropic zone, the sun oscillating within that tropic zone on a yearly basis. The heat from that sun, some of it doesn't return, right? It's going to go into the ground, and the ground is going to penetrate or absorb some of that heat. And that's why also you need to realize this too. There's metal beneath the ground. It's a metal rind, and metal has a very, very extremely low, especially a gold, low heat capacity. So it's going to store a lot of that heat. That's why the deeper you go underground like that, it's going to get warmer like that, because of increased pressure and a decreased heat capacity index. It's metal. There's metal. Look up Mohori Beach. That one video, I'll give you that link at the bottom here. But that's why that's happening. But I'm going to talk about this now anyway. What later on they try to tell me that within an enclosed system you have nowhere for that heat to go. Well, remember the auroras video that I made? You guys, let me find it. This one probably has it. Yeah. Here it is. Remember, in the north and south, I said there are openings, and that's not covered over by the metal rind. Watch this video. I explained how the auroras are happening too. When the electromagnetism of the Earth meets the electromagnetism of the sun at that 100-kilometer glass sky level, or even higher. But that's what's going to be happening like that, and that's why we have auroras. But we do have a heat escape at the top and bottom. I guess you guys didn't really understand that. But do keep in mind, because you are inside my Earth, and my judgment is very, very soon and imminent. I'm going to be judging people, and the sun is going to be stopping in the sky, and when it stops, there's going to be a disproportional amount of heat to one area of the sky, and it's going to increase in temperature because it is behind glass. Just like we see the sun flickering on and off like that. It's because it's behind glass. It's the same thing with a fluorescent light bulb. Same concept. It's giving you indications it's going out. The light is going out, and that's indicative of when that happens, it's going to actually increase in heat like 7 times for you guys at 30, and it's going to burn up the Earth. Yeah, I mean, even the other side of the Earth is going to be melted. It's recorded mountain shall melt like wax. So, yeah, I am the Lord. No wiggle room. Isaiah 28:22. Don't mock me. You will be punished. But let's see what else. Did I miss anything here?
Gravitational lensing, so-called, right?
Yeah, gravitational lensing.
You mean the gravitational lensing we see around galaxies when we look?
Well, that's because you're looking at these galaxies with at least 3 layers of glass. That's why you're getting the lensing effect. It's called refraction and thermal expansion and heat behind glass. That's all it is.
With telescopes, that gravitational lensing that I've actually seen when I looked at through a fucking telescope with my actual eyes.
With glass.
Yeah, that one.
No, how do you compare that
did
to?
your telescope have
yeah, well,
glass?
we're looking through we're looking at the stars through a cut glass goblet, right?
Okay.
Fucking description.
What else? Anything else?
Because
So self-offended by it for no fucking reason, other than
No,
thinking you're dumb.
Aaron and I have a little bit of history. We used to actually, well, he used to come to my chat on Vaughn Live when I was doing Vaughn Live shows back then. So I know him a little bit. I made a few videos about him in the past. But he continues to carry on with this air of stupidity, pseudo-intelligence, I can't even say that word, where, it's only fools like you that want to believe him because, oh yeah, that guy seems smart. But he's really just a dinosaur old cosmologist fool. He really is. And I did make him. I created him to create this challenge for me. But obviously, he's just an air of stupidity. So, what else you got?
God. He's just going to sit there and he's going to laugh at you. That's it.
but
You've taken it so personally that
Jason-
no one has never schooled anybody. He thinks he's schooled everybody.
Right.
There's nobody to
If he's
school.
this fucking-
There's nobody to school. Just you shadow people. You're heirs of stupidity. Because I'm the only one here inside my earth.
Retarded. And yeah, I said retarded. I think you're literally
Okay.
fucking clinically retarded.
Okay,
sir.
United States Secret Service, put all these gentlemen on my shit list, my detention shit list when martial law is announced and I am announced as Christ.
If you're this retarded, then yeah,
Enough of you?
But it only gets warmer the further down we dig. In fact, the deepest hole in the earth
Yeah? Yeah, what's the deepest? How deep did you go?
that we've dug gets up to 312 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah? Really?
So there's actually heat down that way, not further
Because
up.
of the metal rinds.
So
You understand?
where's the heat?
Okay, do you understand the metal rinds? There's metal rinds in the earth. Watch my video where I talk about that moho layer. Let's see if I can find it really quick here. There's a moho layer. So it's going to reflect the seismic data waves. And so at an increased velocity than what they were normally. So that's about, I want to say like 35 kilometers down or something like that. So when we get an earthquake, when we get an earthquake, like at the bottom there, the epicenter of the earthquake is going to carry the S waves, which are the standard, the P waves, which are the primary waves, and the S waves, which are the secondary waves. And it's going to be going on, both sides, not just the left side over there. It's going to hit this metal, the moho, the mantle, 35 to 50. So that's creating the very low heat capacity, and that's what's absorbing that heat and holding that heat like that. And it does need an out. Yeah, I would agree. And I explained that. We have these openings in the rind on the north and the south. But those P waves are going to carry on. P waves actually go through water. Primary waves go through water. Secondary waves don't. And so that's why we're going to get an opposite side of the Earth reading, a seismic reading like that when an earthquake happens at any particular epicenter like that. You understand? He also brought up the shadows. Well, yeah, this is how if you look at the screen here, you see the sunlight is moving up and away, but because of the light curving around like that and back like that, that's why the shadows rise. I've already explained this before. Jason knows this. So, what else? Anything before?
Going.
Oh yeah, I just quickly want to talk about. See, they cannot explain where the sun's magnetic field regenerates. They say it has to go across 4.5 billion years of time. That's like moronic. Okay, they see these actual magnetic field lines happening on both sides, so it's, we have this nice symmetrical view, this onion-shaped viewpoint of these field lines emanating out like that. But they have no return because I hid that from them. Yes, light bends, and you only see the front side of the sun. And so you're not going to be able to see where the return is happening, but it's happening in the back of the sun, and that means that the sunlight goes exactly how I explained it before. Up the high arm, actually starts in the center, goes up the high arm, and down back behind to the back side of the sun like that. That's how it happens, guys. I'm sorry you don't like it. I'm sorry that I hid these things from you, but I'm sorry that I created you to be like the losers in my battle against stupidity, but there's nobody else to fight. There's nobody. So
fucking dome is falling in on us. There's an incredibly hot ball.
Light doesn't travel in a trumpet. Think about
light travels exactly how I showed you it travels, and you can even look up and understand. Even any ham radio antenna will tell you. Radio antenna enthusiast will tell you that the energy is bending upward. It never goes straight across, and it never goes down. I have a video on that as well. So that should help you guys fight these morons, these dinosaur cosmologists they're just going down like that, and they're continuing to accelerate downward, especially now that I've helped you understand the tides and how the heat escapes like that. And there's no wiggle room for these morons. So and even I talked about in the future when the octahedron does descend. There's an area in Antarctica that's called the Wilkes quote gravitational anomaly, and they're saying that the gravitational pull is higher over there. No, it's just the ether push, but there's also some kind of attraction. That's where there's some kind of attraction at that area. That's where the octahedron is going to most likely descend at the end of days, and then I will make a new heaven and a new earth for all you guys that believe me. And so that's what's happening. And then they talked about how there have been scientists who have investigated this, and they say that this area that is beneath the Wilkes anomaly is very, very thin. And so that's a good indication of understanding that there's a metal opening in the southern region as well as the northern region where the heat can't escape. You understand? Okay. That's all there is to it. So this is where the fight is over. You guys who are against me, you really need to fear me, because the government is on my side, and I will take over the government, and you cannot be making fun of me like that. There are severe consequences for that type of behavior.